Heard of Pegasus, right? Yeah, the horse with wings thing. Some of you might have heard of Pegasus, the controversial spyware created by an Israeli security firm, that is the NSO group. Back in 2019, there was a spyware attack on WhatsApp in which they admitted that a cyber attack exploited their software's vulnerabilities and infected about 1,400 devices across 20 countries spanning 4 continents. The attack was carried out using the Israel-based NSO group's spyware Pegasus, which allowed the surveillance to be conducted on individuals via their smartphones. Those responsible for the surveillance are still unknown, but the NSO group has denied the allegations, insisting that their customers are licensed government intelligence and law enforcement agencies who get assistance in fighting terrorism and other crimes. Pegasus can remotely compromise the device with little to no user interaction with the spyware trigger, mostly via zero-day vulnerabilities. Zero-day vulnerabilities are flaws in a software's code that has not been brought to the notice of its developers, thereby leaving it vulnerable to exploitation by hackers. The NSO documentation on the Pegasus spyware reveals two vectors that Pegasus uses to install itself into a device. The first is a one-click vector which involves a well-known technique called phishing. Phishing occurs when the attacker, disguised as a seemingly trustworthy source, send the target device an email, text message or SMS containing a link which if opened can lead to the attacker gaining limited access to the device. The link sent by the Pegasus vector opens a malicious website called an anonymizer which communicates with the operator's server. The server examines the target device to determine if Pegasus has the code to exploit the particular model and attempts the installation via the anonymizer. If it fails, the web page that was opened will be redirected to an actual legitimate site to avoid raising suspicions. The attack occurs in the background with nothing to alert the user or device administrators of the infection. Second one is the zero-click vector, which is far more insidious as it does not require the target user to click or open a link. Zero-click vectors generally function via push messages that automatically load links within the SMS. Since a lot of recent phones can disable or block push messages, a workaround has evidently been developed. WhatsApp in its official statement revealed that a vulnerability in their voice call function was exploited, which allowed for remote code execution via specially crafted series of packets sent to a target phone number. Basically, the phones were infected via an incoming call which, even when ignored, would install Pegasus on the device. The data packets containing the spyware code were carried via the internet connection, and a small backdoor for its installation was immediately opened when the phone rang. The call would then be deleted from the log, removing any visible trace of infection. The only way you will know if your phone has been infected in the attacks is once WhatsApp notifies you via a message on the platform. There are two variants, of which Pegasus is the main variant and Chrysor the second one. While the main variant of Pegasus is aimed at targeting iPhones, a secondary variant that Google dubbed Chrysor is designed to specifically infect Android devices. Both variants use the same vectors and offer the same results, but differ in terms of initial installation. On the iPhone, once the malicious website has been opened, a chain that targets zero-day vulnerabilities are sent to the phone. Android devices can be infected and attacked by the Chrysor even without exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities by using a complex routing technique called route. Routing grants administrator-level permissions, giving the spyware a higher degree of control over the phone's OS than the users themselves. Once infected, almost all the user's data is immediately compromised. Pegasus can record any conversation made via the microphone or the cameras. The live GPS location is tracked at all times, and the spyware uses keystroke logging to keep a log of any text message or email typed out after the infection. Any call made is recorded, as well as personal data like passwords, contacts, and in some cases biometric information. It was reported that the latest version of Pegasus can access data from cloud-based accounts and can't even bypass the two-factor authentication, making the compromised smartphone a digital spy, perhaps the most efficient one yet.